Woohoo!
Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Ihegborow. I am the training director at Realty One Group Integrity out of Southern Arizona. And I am here with my friend that I keep bragging about, Betsy Sabatini Coin. Hello, my queen. She got mad at me because I didn't wear my
I,
humble hustle shirt. I'm a little disappointed in myself,
I'm
but
I'm the honorary member of the family, so I had to wear my black and gold. So
let's
when I see
go.
Michelle, yes, hi everybody, and that's how I say it, right? Hi everybody.
Yes,
That's
yes.
my what Michelle and I were talking about my waiting room video. So I come to you as your Zoom expert today, but usually, and I talk about having a waiting room video when people come to your Zoom events. And
Yeah.
she was watching mine this morning. But today we're not talking Zoom, are we, Michelle? We're not
No,
talking
we're not going
Zoom.
to talk about Zoom today, even though we are using Zoom as a platform to stream this training to you. We're going to be talking about Google, how important it is in the digital hierarchy. If you are not on Google, I am so sorry to inform you, but your business does not exist. I mean, is that an understatement? Or, I mean, I don't want to be dramatic, but that's really the truth of it.
Well, yeah, I always say to people when I meet them across the country, the first thing I say is, here I am in your city, and I needed to find a restaurant. What do? I Google it.
Always.
I just moved from New Jersey to Arizona. And if I'm looking for something in a new city, what do? I Google it. If
Yeah.
I'm looking for a realtor in the city, what do? I say, find me a real estate agent near me, and I Google it.
Yeah.
So we want you to be on Google so that
Yes.
you come up in those results. And today's topic is the 5 steps to optimize your information, which means, Betsy, how do I get to be seen? How do I get in
Yeah.
that listing when people?
How do you come up on the top of the search results? And listen, I always love to be industry specific. Y'all know that I'm in the real estate industry, but please know that this training, what you're about to watch right now, is really for all industries. And I'm going to put myself out there. Betsy's going to search my Google profile from an incognito window. She's going to give me feedback, and we're going to talk about those 5 points about optimizing. And I'm going to be vulnerable and allow the teacher to teach me. And then just to go back to a little bit of industry specific, I want to be clear and just say that when I am talking to a real estate professional, whether they are newly licensed or seasoned, and I'm talking to them about how they're going to get leads. They just are so hung up on social and Facebook and Twitter and even TikTok. And listen, all of that is great,
Yeah,
but there is a digital hierarchy
yeah.
in our platforms and in our businesses. And I always believe that the social profiles are there to supplement the Google results.
Yes, exactly.
So please understand how important your Google business profile is to your business, and let's start there.
Yes, exactly. Ditto. I agree. And yes, this is any industry. So anybody out there who's listening in, either right now with us live, or if you're watching back on the replay, give us a little hashtag replay in the comments so we know you
Yeah.
were here. But any industry, I teach all industries, financial coaches, business coaches, life coaches. I have a chef who's in California, and she comes to me to find out how to optimize her location there. You have a brick and mortar, you have an office that's located physically, or you have a business that's completely virtual.
Yeah,
You can,
even more important to have that Google business profile if you're virtual, because then
yeah,
you don't exist in a brick and mortar. At least in a brick and mortar. Well, no, you wouldn't even come up on map results, would you?
yeah.
Not
Oh, with a brick and mortar, or with a virtual.
just kind of. I mean, all of it too. So let's say it's a restaurant. Pollo frito.
Yeah,
If they don't have a Google business profile,
yeah.
would they even come up on a map result, like a Google map result?
No, they wouldn't. No, they would not come up on a show me a Mexican restaurant near me. No, they wouldn't.
Oh
Show me,
my.
no, they wouldn't. If you service your local area, oh, by all means, if you haven't done this, don't go anywhere. Like, stop, stop, get your computer out, sit down wherever you are right now, and do
Get your
this.
together.
That's what I say. Don't pass go. Yeah, you need to do this because it's Google, everybody. It's the largest search engine in the world,
And it's not going anywhere. That's the thing, is that these social platforms might disappear. You know, we saw Twitter turn to X. We saw now Threads. TikTok is, people think, is here to stay. What is here to stay is Google and YouTube. Those are not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're not. And also on social, you don't own your content there. This Google
Mm.
profile is pointing to it's just pointing to you. It's pointing to your website. It's pointing to your address. It's just pointing to you. So it's
Yeah.
not as if, and if anything, it does point to your Google account, which you do own, as opposed to your social. We don't own everything we put on our social. So let me dive in, and I'm going to share
And
my.
we're on. We're
I know.
definitely on. I
I
know you
see.
can't see it. What? There we
I
go.
did. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. All
And
right.
I love. I
And
love.
I'll monitor this in case we have questions. So if you are
Okay.
watching this, please know I have my phone next to me and I can see whatever questions you're posting. We are live right now and we'll answer those questions live. But like Betsy said, if you're watching this on the replay, yeah, do hashtag replay. And, just really quickly, I just want to thank Jessica and Taryn for putting us together. Let's send Jessica a happy birthday shout
Happy
out. Today's
birthday,
Thomas's
Jessica.
birthday.
Yeah,
And Taryn for putting us together. And 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 thank
I
you to my
know.
husband for being patient, because my husband's nickname is Betsy's real name, and it's just been a whole joke in my household. And I just thank you, hubby.
Funny. I
Please make
agree.
sure that.
I agree. And I gotta just say ditto because I made a post yesterday on social media. So anybody who wants to, actually, we'll put my name, we'll tag me on this, whatever.
Yeah. Yes, I
You can
will.
find me on
Yes.
Facebook. Anyway, I did a post yesterday and I just had this thought when I woke up about the people we meet and how we're taught as children not to talk to strangers. We are, as parents, we guide our children, to be safe and not talk to strangers. And then when we get into our adulthood and career years, the strangers that I do meet, whether it's a handshake or a conversation, I mean, it could turn into a lead, a very solid lead, or it turns into somebody that I, work so easily with. And the story with Michelle just blows my mind because we're like in my aura, for a
Yeah.
year, and then all of a sudden, through a completely different channel,
That's
I
wild.
was brought to you in an introduction. So,
Yeah, and then Jamie too, Jamie
and
Booth,
Jamie
and then
too.
to find
Yeah,
out we knew Teresa together
I know,
too, and then and then bringing Deidre in with these shirts, right?
I
Because that
know,
humble hustle
I
shirt
know,
you got on is from Diva
I
D
know,
Designs, and we met her through Jessica
I
and
know,
Taryn, and
I know, I
it's so
know.
small. The
It
world is
is. It really
small,
is. It is. So embrace it, y'all. Embrace it.
y'all.
I went to college in North Carolina, so it's my Southern drawl. I'll bring to you all.
Well,
But
I'm from New York City, and I say y'all all the time.
no, I grew up in Northern New Jersey, but I did spend
Gonna
four
bring
years.
everybody
I
in
did. I spent four
with
years
the
in
y'all
Durham,
in the Snapchat.
Durham, North Carolina. Shout out to Durham. I ate grits every morning, and I said y'all, and I love me some North Carolina. So
Love it.
okay, so I'm going to take you on a little field trip here.
Okay.
I'm going to use the share screen feature here inside Zoom. And yes, anything I do on Zoom in here that you're curious about, that is my forte. I'm
Yeah.
known as the Zoom expert, Zoom diva, Zoom genius, Zoom guru. I get all these little nicknames. What I'm bringing to you now is just a regular Google screen, and what I tell everybody to do, if this is you wondering, you might be wondering if you have it. Like, a lot of people wonder, do I even have this Google business profile?
Yeah.
You have the ability to have it if you have a Google account. So if you have a Gmail address, then you have a Google account. So that would be the place to start. And you would go to the Google screen and you would look in that upper right corner. You can't really see it here in our recording because my little video thumbnail is hiding it. But in the upper right corner of your Google screen, it shows you whether you're signed in or not. And so you're gonna sign in. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to business.google.com. And oopsie, let me retype that. And I don't know, Michelle, if you want to put that in the comments, whatever you can. If anyone wants to do this, follow along.
You said google.business.com.
Other way around, business.google.com. Business.google.com. And I'm just going to show it to you two ways. This is how it looks when you're signed in. So you're seeing my dashboard, my business, my Google business profile. By the way, this used to be called Google My Business.
Yep.
So if you're listening right now and you're just listening in and you just want to type that Google search, Google My Business, you can put in those 3 words in a Google search. That will lead you to the same location. And they changed it recently from Google My Business to Google Business Profile. That's what this page is. And that's where we're going to return here in a moment. But as an aside, it's funny, I'm in Safari right now. So I'm going to demonstrate just going to a new private window. You can kind of see me doing that in the upper left corner. If you are on Chrome right now, you are going to go to an incognito window. And what that does is it brings up a part of your browsing. You can see it's private. It's not connected to any sign-ons that you have. And let me just show you, just as a demonstration, when you do the same thing, business.google.com, look at the difference. It does not see that I'm signed in. It brings up this generic welcome screen. And that's where you're all going to start. If you are at square one, I was going to say, Michelle, if you're at base camp,
if you're at
base camp, she was showing me this the other day, this analogy. So if you're at base camp, then you're going to go to business.google.com, and in the upper right corner, again, it's a little bit hidden in the recording here, but you'll see it on your screen when you do it. You're going to sign in to your Google account. And the next thing it does, let me just see how far in. There you go. So it's going to ask you to sign in to your Google account. And I'm going to I have in honor of my parents, I have a training account that I use. Just as an example, this one is not tied to anything. And so just as an example, what's the password here? It would be maybe that. Let's see if I'm right. Boom.
Let's go, Betsy.
Boom. Okay, so just to kind of show you like what it would do, like I said, I have this extra Google account. I don't have it tied to anything. And so you might get something like this, which says, your business is not visible to customers. And what you need to do is you can see right underneath those 2 rows, it says customers can't see your business, get verified. That's where everybody's going to start. So if you have not verified yet, you're going to click on get verified and then follow the prompts. So I can't really do this with you live. If you contact me or Michelle, we can certainly help you to get verified. And it's really just follow along. It's going to ask you for your business name. It's going to ask you whether you're local or online. It's going to ask you your address, your contact information. It's like 3 or 4 steps.
And you know what? Before we even get into that, Betsy, how about you tell them what this costs them to have a Google business profile?
Yeah, good question. Guess what? It's a big old fat 0.
This costs no money. This is
0. Free. It's completely free. So this is one of those things on your list that you should be doing. If you're not, like I said, if you're not doing it, stop in your tracks where you are right now as you're listening or watching.
And like you said, take it back to base camp. Like this, come back to Basecamp. If this is not a step that you have done, it is so important right now with what's going on with the market and what the real estate agents are going through. And even just the businesses in general, like there's just things going on right now where businesses are hurting. And these are going to be those basic pieces that you need to put in place to be taken seriously as a business and to stand out from everyone else that you're standing next to. And,
Yeah.
you know, another big one too, I don't even want to deviate, is setting up your voicemail messages. If I call John's construction company and it's a cell phone number and I pick up the phone and your voicemail's not set up, it doesn't say John's construction company, and your voicemail is full, we're done.
Yeah.
I'm not doing business with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then after I find John and I call his construction company, what do you think I'm gonna do next? I'm gonna Google him.
Yeah.
And he's not coming up here. Me and John are not doing business.
Right, correct. And actually another shout out to Taryn, because I had changed my voicemail, and I was in a spot where I couldn't re-record it, and then I never followed back up. And so she called me maybe last week and she was like, excuse me, how come the tech expert doesn't have her voicemail set up? So be a friend to a friend who, like, if you call them and you're like, wait a minute, your voicemail's not set up.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, you got
Or
me.
even if it's full, let them know it's full.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't know that it's
Yeah,
full.
yeah. Exactly.
We're not calling ourselves.
So yeah, she got me on that one. I was like, all right, boom. And I set it up right away. I was like, I remember I went to do it. And then I was in a spot where I didn't have like really good sound. I wanted to record.
Yes, yeah.
Was my
and then you forgot. Yeah. A true queen will always fix another queen's crown. And, a true queen will fix a queen's crown without letting the other people know that her crown is crooked.
Yes. I'd love that. So all you queens out there, okay?
Yes.
Fix the other one's crown today and fix your
fix your queen's crown today.
So yeah,
as a matter of fact, call all your friends and see what their
voicemail is. All right, so good one. This is completely free. So there's that excuse off the table. If your other excuse was, I don't know how to do it, Betsy and Michelle, then okay, we've got you there. So just leave a comment here where you got stuck, how far you got, and we got you. We'll help you through this.
We'll walk you through
verification.
The rest.
Only takes maybe as most 3 business days, because if they have to send you a postcard to your physical address, then and if you're a broker out there, if you are in the real estate industry, you can have a Google Business Profile page for the brokerage, and then all of your agents can have their own. So yes. I do want to stress that when you're using your business name, that you use the same name that is most likely on your license, that you use that. Yes. That if you are in the real estate industry, and then make sure it's consistent with the way your name is shown all across the internet. So on every social media platform, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, if right now those are all different, you just want to make some notes to go in and change those names, which you can. All those platforms do let you change the name. Facebook doesn't let you change it repeatedly. So you want to make sure you change it once, and then you probably are given like a 30-day grace period where
exactly. So for like Betsy said, for you agents watching, the broker does have their page on Google, but the agents are allowed to have their pages up under that. And the way that you're going to do that too is by putting in the address. So for example, here in Southern Arizona, we have 3 offices. Use the office address that's attached to where you hung your license at. So if you're in our system up in the Oracle office, use that Oracle office address for your Google Business Profile. And that postcard that Betsy's talking about during this verification process will go to that Oracle office. They want to know that you do have a brick and mortar. And then what is the situation? How do you get verified if it's a virtual business?
If it's a virtual business, I just stopped the share for a minute while we talk about it. If it's a virtual business, then they will ask you that. So Google asks you that in the opening pages, like it welcomes you. Hi, what's your business name? Okay, great. Are you local? Do you service other people locally? Do they visit you at your physical address? And you say yeses and nos. And then if you are 100% virtual, you say that, and then, okay, now there's no place to send that postcard to verify that you actually are the person that you're saying you are. So if you are 100% virtual, then most likely the next screen will either be they're going to call your number that you've given them and you verify that way, like with a code, or depends. I can't guarantee the way it's going to go for you.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, because things like
sometimes
that are
it's at
always
random.
evolving and
Sometimes it's at
changing.
random.
But again,
Sometimes,
most real estate professionals work virtually per se. But if
yeah,
you are obviously servicing an area, put
yeah,
in a physical address. Even if you
that
don't
will
go to that
really
office, wherever your
totally.
license is hung at, use that address because it's going to help you be of service to that service area and come up on the Google results. You can't be a virtual real estate professional.
Yeah, I mean, there are some virtual, all online real estate brokerages, and
Yeah.
they are considered, their map area is considered online. But for you
Mhm.
all listening in, where you are in a certain zip code area and you're servicing listings for your MLS in a certain area, you're going to put in that physical address, whether it is your brokerage or it's your home address. I mean, you have to pick an address, and then Google will let you put, I believe it's like a 2 hour radius, 2 hour like driving distance from that. You can list all the zip codes if you want,
Yep.
and list that service area that way. One more thing, if you are completely online or virtual, if you're not real estate, if you are, if you're not, and you're another industry, you might be asked to record a video of your location. So like me, I'm a completely virtual online professional. I do all my training, my technology training virtually here via Zoom. And so I might be asked to record here, record my location that I actually exist. I'm a physical being. I can go to my front door over there and I can record the number, the address number that matches the
Mm.
address number I gave them. Sometimes they'll ask you to do that, to make a video recording and then upload it. It's like,
That's
less than two
awesome.
minutes.
You learn something new every day.
See that? Just want you to know that
Yeah.
too. Yeah. All right, beautiful. So let's go back to the share screen. I like to stop and start just because
Yeah.
yeah, in a discussion like this, when we get to discuss, in Zoom, you're in these larger thumbnails side by side. Just a little Zoom thing for a
I
minute
love it. It's
when
so
you
cool. Yeah,
stop
I
to
stopped
share.
my share yesterday a few times while I was
Yeah,
teaching
for
because
the
I want to
yeah.
engage
Oh,
with,
you do
the
that.
audience and, the screen is great when we want to show them the training, but it's also I love I don't know if you're on this side or on this
Yeah,
side,
I
but I love
know. I think you're there. Yeah, I know. Look at you. Hi,
yeah.
Michelle. You're so
Now we got to do the other way in case
you're so good. Yeah. What are you over
I
there? Yeah, no, you're so good.
oh man.
But yeah, I see you do that. You do that. I can see us now. um, okay, next step. So I'm going to bring you back to our Google screen. And this time, like Michelle said, she was willing to be the guinea pig. And so what I did, here's a little, like, it's like a cooking show. I put her name in and her area. So this would be, I'm going to do a little something a little different.
All
So
right.
if I was, like I said earlier, real estate, I didn't do this one ahead of time. So let's see, real estate agent near me. And I am in the Tucson area. And there we go. So nobody's Google profile comes up first. There are some sponsored. It says precise location may
Mm.
show. So Tucson is a big city. It's like a big city with a hometown feel. So it's a very large coverage area. So like it says here, use precise location. It might want to, I have my privacy does allow my location to display. And so that's just my local. Like if I'm really trying to do a search for the area, you can see it's picking up 85750.
Okay, so 10 minutes.
So, okay, yeah. So actually, I lied. My privacy is probably blocking my actual location. But what I wanted you to see is that these two appear on the top. There does say more real estate agents, and they're paying money to Google. So we said it was free before. It is free, but there is a way to pay. Like you can pay
Yeah.
for Google Ads. You can there is this extra extra sort of clearance that you can do, which that's that green check, which is called Google screened. And that's a little something separate. It is within the Google Business Profile area, but it's a little extra. It's not one of our 5 today. So just so you know, there are ways to even up your list, up your where you appear,
Rankings,
results, your
your Google
rankings.
rankings.
Thank you, in the results, and you might have to pay a little bit of money to do that. So good on you, Kathleen and Liz. They're at the top there. And if I say show me more, then it does open up the results to other Google screened real estate agents in the area. And these are all Google business profiles. So every little like sort of line item you see here with their name, with the gold stars, it has a call and a share. Those are all connected to their Google business profile. So again, you're like, oh, I want to get that. I want to be one of those listed. Well, then the place to start is creating the profile. And then we'll get you up there, all the way up there. But I just wanted you to see that these are all ones that do pay a little extra money. Okay, so now let's just go back a minute, little separate search there. Now I want to find Michelle. So now I'm going to put in her name and her location. You may not even have to do that because I'm in the locale. And you're going to do this for yourself, but you're going to do it in one of those incognito windows or private window, like I just demonstrated. That way you can see, what do people see when they Google you? Because if you Google yourself in your own browser, your computer is going to find you because that's where your account is. I want you to do an example as if you're not sitting in your home. And so here's Michelle's Google business profile. You can see it listed there on the right-hand side. So yes, on the left, we do get other results. We get realtor.com, we get LinkedIn, we get, there is a Google business site, which is interesting right here. We get her YouTube channel, we get Zillow, we get Yelps, we get all of her internet, presence, and those do come up. But look at the right side of the screen. So the right side of the screen jumps out at us. There are photos, there could be videos there. There is her name, there's buttons, easy buttons right to directions and calling her. There is a link, could be directly to your website. And so you want,
and let's let them know too that right side is the Google business profile. That is that piece that comes up.
That's it. That right side of the screen is it. So that's what we want to come up for you. And so the
and I never knew that third one, for example, on the left, I didn't know that that's a website that Google creates for you when you have a Google business profile.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Open up a new tab. Yeah. So this Michelle.Ihegborow.business.site. And
that's your Google website. You don't have to do anything. It's the information you're putting in on those 5 pieces that she's going to show you how to optimize that come up on that website. This is not an additional step you're taking.
Yeah,
it's not.
Beautiful.
Crazy, huh?
So all these pieces. Okay, so let's break it down because I looked at this with her, and in terms of optimizing it better, again, get verified. She's done that. So let's check that off. So she's verified. She's visible to people on the internet. Beautiful. Now, I have to say, as people kind of fall into this category, these people I meet, because the 5 areas, the first area is photos. So you can have a photo library up here. And that's one of the things that jumps right out at us. And you can see at the top here, as a person viewing her, I can click here and view. Now, she's got her business card, which is beautiful. But what a lot of people do is they put the photos up there and then they leave it. They're like, okay, I'm done. I did that. I filled the photo area and I'm done. And in terms of optimizing with Google means keeping the information fresh and dynamic. And so what I tell people is really every week you should be putting at least 1 new photo up there. So if you're putting it on Facebook, go put it on your Google business profile. Don't put 10 up today. Don't do that because Google will also flag you if it sees too
Mhm.
much activity. So I don't want that to happen to you either. I want it to trickle in. So I often, with people who come to me either for private coaching or even in my group mastermind, I always give this challenge. And here we are, we're at the beginning of a month. So why don't
Yes,
you take this challenge to put up 8 new photos for the month, at least
for the
8
month, two a
a
week.
month, 2 a week. You want to do 3 a week? Beautiful, do 3 a week. But take on that challenge and say, oh, get to the end of the week. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, did I do my 2 pictures today or this week? And go ahead and put them in. I'm going to show you where to do that. But that would be
Yeah,
one area. Because I went in here and I said to Michelle, I said, well, these are great, but this was
they're
4 years
old.
ago. Yeah, she said,
Yeah.
she's like, oh, those photos are old. And look, she has all this brand new, fresh content on her Facebook page. And so she,
Yes, and none of it is
yeah,
on my Google
is
page.
on here.
None of it.
Yeah, I fall victim to it too. I teach this, and so I always forget about me, my own stuff. So that's area number one of the five are your photos. And then the second area is similar to photos, yet a little different. And those are called updates or posts. And that's going to be a little further down. You do have some here, and that's in this area. So you see these,
Mm-hmm.
these are photos with a caption and a call to action. That rhymes.
Yes.
Um,
And
so
I think those came in from YouTube because I think I scheduled that to come, and these are posts. Did I schedule these? I don't remember how I ended up with these, but I wanted to start featuring the one-on-one podcast that Realty One Group has. So those are those images with Kathy and Josh.
beautiful. It has a title, it has a caption. You've used people's full names, which is really good. And you want to use your full name too. So, in here, like what you do at the bottom, and then there is some sort of call to action. And so that's a post or an update. They're really called updates.
Yes.
So that's
Update.
area number two. And I would say here, your most recent was from June. So, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, again,
Better than 4 years
better than
ago.
4 years, exactly. But now you're gonna add this on to your challenge for the week. So you're gonna do at least 1 or 2 photos this week, and you're gonna do 1 or 2 updates this week. So
Okay.
all your activity, and then you're gonna get one of Michelle's planners, and you're gonna fill out the planner with all these little things that you want to have done at the end of the
Yes.
week. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Um, we have like the same brain sometimes. So,
Yeah.
so those are the updates. That's area number two. Area number three are the reviews. And what people love most about their Google business profile is that when you come up in Google results, you see these beautiful gold stars and it just stands out. It really does. And that's what we do, right? We go to buy something online and we
Yeah.
look at the reviews. We're like, oh, which
Yes.
one should I buy? Oh, that one has, what movie should I watch? Oh, that one. We always look at like, what did other people think about it?
Yes.
So here you've got 9 reviews, beautiful. And if I go in there just to take a peek, again, the most recent one was from a year ago. So
Yeah.
the task here is it might be a little more challenging step of our five is like, well, who would you ask? Who would you
Yes.
ask to review you? And it could always be, let me speak to the real estate professionals watching. If you are at the closing table and you've gone through this whole process, this transaction with this family, this person, now I've just got chills for some reason. That's wild. That now is the time to ask them.
Mm.
Like, we've had such a wonderful relationship and working relationship, and it would mean the world to me if you could help me, because this helps my business as well. And you do need to share a link with them. So you can't put it in for them. They do have to put it in for you, and because it will register their name from their
Yes.
Google account
When they're signed in. Yeah.
when they're signed in. So some people tell me, and brokers across the country will tell me, will we working with clients who are elderly, or they're downsizing, and so they're more of the elderly age range, and they don't even have a Google account. It's like, okay, well, you can help them out, and there are ways to get around that. You can,
Yes.
you can help them with a Google account. I mean, anyway, all of these
Yeah,
things
because
are
it's
little
free. I
hurdles.
mean, you can literally set it up at least just for the review and have them, put in the review.
You would need one for each client because
Yeah.
you wanted to have their name.
Yes.
But you could still do that. You make a Google account with the listing address, at
Right.
gmail.com. And then that's just a temporary, whatever. It's a Google account you created just for that
Mm-hmm.
reason. But anyway, there's ways around it. I'm trying to pinpoint some of your objections out there where you're like, oh, it's so hard. I can't do
Yeah.
this. They don't know how.
And
And
when you face those objections, just again, like Betsy said, reach out to her or me. We're more than happy to help you with things like this. We know that a lot of us are at different levels when it comes to technology. Some of us have a better understanding of it. Some of us don't, some of us don't know how to set up our voicemail. How do we do that? So the one thing that I admire about Betsy is that whatever level you're at, in regards to technology, she knows how to break it down and back to the basics. Like she knows how to show you 1 + 1 = 2 versus someone else might need X plus Y equals, and all of that. She knows how to talk every single language
trigonometry.
from
Yes.
the basics to to tech, like IT tech stuff.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. That is very true about me. I can teach elementary math or I can teach trigonometry. So whatever your level is, I can do that. And I'm gonna say the same about you, because if you're out there feeling that you can't do the lead generation, or I don't really know what to say about myself or about my business, that's what Michelle is here for you to do,
Yeah.
to break it down, get back to base camp and the basics about, how do you set up your, description about who you are and your mission
Yeah.
statement, right? That's
Yeah,
what
we
you
were talking
train,
about that
new
yesterday in
agents.
class.
Yeah.
It being your one value proposition. Like, what does that look like? What kind of value do you offer to a client? How do you translate that into words? And sometimes we don't know what that is, especially when we're a newly licensed agent. And it was one thing I learned from one of our agents, Blair, when she did a panel one time, and she was explaining to the agents that have your 5 closest friends tell you words to describe you. And
Mm.
there's going to be words in common. That is your
Mhm.
one value proposition, right? Especially when you don't have reviews, you don't know what your clients are saying about you. Ask your 5 closest friends to give you the 2 or the 3 words that best describe you. Put that together, and that is your one value proposition.
Love that.
Because
Perfect.
it's their perspective of you. It can't be our perspective of ourselves. We know what we might want to offer a client, but we don't know what the other people are perceiving us as the information that we're giving.
Perfect.
That's a
I
little,
love that.
confusing, but
Perfect. I love that. Boom. So,
boom.
all right. So we've done three. We've done the
Yeah.
photos. We've done
Updates
the updates or posts, and then we've
and the
just done
reviews.
reviews. So now we've got two more left. What are they?
Yeah.
I'm going to move you on to an area which many don't know even exists. So now I'm talking to the trigonometry people out there who are
Okay.
like, I've done this. I've got my Google business profile. I've verified. I'm up there. There is an area which are called questions. So it's question and answer. And this is a way that you can engage with the potential buyer or seller out there. Like, why not? And Michelle and I talk a lot about the fact that I really truly believe this, that you all have your genius. You have your genius. She
Mm.
has her genius. I have mine, and we all have it. And this is an area where you can engage with people to ask you questions, and because you're so knowledgeable about that area that you are genius in. Could be commercial property, could be residential, could be residential in a certain neighborhood in your community, could be about where the best happy places to have happy hour are, whatever. Like, your city, you've been living there, whatever it is. So again, she agreed to be vulnerable. So we scroll down, and here's this question and answer. And I can ask her a question, or she could have a question sitting there that I get to answer, and then
Wow. Oh,
that
so
way
it's
we can
two
engage.
ways?
It's two ways. So here I am. I can ask Michelle a question, and I can say, hi there. I'm new to Tucson. Um, whatever. Where should I go to? I don't know. to wash my car. This is
Yeah.
something I asked when I moved in, because I drove across the country, whatever. So I'm like, hey, you're a realtor. You probably know this area. And
And then please, 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 I do want you to go post the question because
yeah,
then
I
I'll go
will.
ahead
There
and
you go.
answer it
So I
later.
posted it, and then
That
you can see
that's
here.
Google juice.
Yes, that's Google Juice. I love you. So your question was posted to the community. So we were talking about this the other day because that's what we do. She and I get together and we're like, did you know? Did you know?
Yeah, always
And then it says if
learning.
you're
And
signed
then,
into,
then we wanted to record our genius, right? That's why
yes, I
we're
know
doing this,
that's
right? Because we
coming
want to
next.
get involved in these awesome conversations. And we're like, the people need to know
I
this. The
know
people
it's
need to
coming
know this.
next. It is coming next. So stay tuned. We're going to show you how to record your genius
Yes.
inside here. But you can see here it says if you're signed into Google Maps on your Android device. And it does say Android because Android phones, Samsung, Motorola, LG, those are all Google based phones. So we're not talking about iPhones, but if you have Google Maps on your iPhone, this will also work. You'll
Okay.
get a notification when the owner or someone else posts an answer. So that's telling me, I just asked her a question. Michelle is going to get an email because this is her Google account. She's going to get an email inside her Gmail account that says someone asked a question, or it might say Elizabeth Sabatini asked a question. And then we would probably have to have Michelle share her screen at the end to show how, because she has her back end. I'll show it on mine, but I just want to show the last thing, the fifth piece, which is your business information. And if anything, like I left the last one for the grand finale because the business information is really, I want to say probably the most important part because it holds your name, it holds your service area, it holds your mission statement. And all of that information flows out down this whole right side. So any parts here where you see service options, their online appointments, I get her address, I see her hours that she's open right now and when she closes. If you're closed for any holidays, you can put that in there in your business information. Of course, your contact information. You do have chat turned on. That's very interesting. There isn't a messages area, so you can have that on or off. I not warn you, but if you are going to commit to turn it on, here, let's chat. If you're going to commit to turn it on, then be
That's the big.
aware. Like this is like her little bot there. Welcome to Michelle Ihegborow, realtor with Realty. How can I help you? So, hi, are you there? Or something like that.
All
So
right, let me see
it's
where it's
kind of
gonna
like a
come in.
little bot,
Is it
and
gonna like show up on my phone?
it'll probably, do you have an Android? I can't remember. You have
No,
an
I have,
iPhone.
oh no, I have an iPhone.
Yeah, so you probably need to be in your Google Business profile on your computer. And like I said, if you're going to commit to this, you would want to either have the Google Maps app on your iPhone, or if you have an Android phone, then you'll get a notification. And yeah, this will be in. Let me switch over and show
Okay, and
everybody.
I'm just trying to see if I see anything in my Google app and see if
Okay.
anything comes up.
Because it will show up here. So here's my behind the scenes. Like I'm here and I'm just showing everybody in the first row. I got some reviews yesterday. So you see there's like a little notification, a little red bubble right there on read reviews. Well, we're talking about messages right now. So when you go into messages, if you want this little bot, this little chat bot, this is what Michelle has turned on. Turn on chat, let customers message you. So I would say turn on. And then, like I said, if you commit to this, you want to make sure that see at the bottom, which says get chat alerts. I don't know if that's on for you, Michelle, but we'll check that in yours.
Okay, yeah, and I'm watching to see if it sends me some sort of notification, but it hasn't yet. So I need to make sure I'm getting chat alerts.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I should have
So,
got notified already that you sent me a question.
yeah. So let's go in.
Oh, here we go. Oh my
Okay, good.
God.
It's so exciting. She's like, it's like real time. She's like learning something new,
It's
which I
real
love too.
time.
979. Okay, so let me just verify this. I don't think that's for security reasons. I don't think that's a problem. Okay. just to kind of show you that there are chat settings. So if you have turned this on prior to today, this is what Michelle would do. She would go into the chat settings and it lets her either receive read receipts. She can set up her welcome message. Do you remember where it said that? Hi, how can I help you today?
Mm-hmm.
She can change that to say, hi, this is Michelle, and I'm so happy to service you, or whatever. You can change that.
Mm-hmm.
She can add frequently asked questions. So how many times are we always asked the same question over and over? I know I am in Zoom. I'm always asked, Betsy, what's the difference between a Zoom meeting and a Zoom webinar? Or can I do this with a free account? Or what's the difference? What do I lose if I have a free account versus a paid account? And I can put in my frequently asked questions there. Again, engagement, people stay on my page longer. And I can update my business information. And then
Mm-hmm.
the away mode. Um, so if someone were chatting with you and you weren't available, you want to be able to manage that so that, someone's
Yeah.
not hanging out there. And even as an aside, everybody, there are other tools that you can use. There are other tools that you can use to set up this is called like a chat bot. Um, you can set those up on your website. The fact that this one comes built in to Google,
That's crazy.
it's like a no-brainer. So
So
anyway,
powerful.
lots of chat settings in there that you can tweak for your own needs. Okay. So that was not one of our five, by the way, the chat, because I typically keep that I keep that for you to decide on your own, because it really is a commitment once you turn on those messages. The fifth area, if you remember me saying, was business information. So in that first row, when you click on edit profile, it brings you into this area, which is where you're going to put your business name, and that's what needs to match all your social profiles. You're going to put what category.
Let's see.
Yes.
Keep talking to them. I'll be right back. I got
Okay.
2 minutes.
Gotcha.
2 minutes.
Yes. So in continuing our business information, so you go from your name, that's where I said your name needs to match how your name is listed on every social platform. So if you're a real estate industry professional and you're using the name that's shown on your license, I want that put here, and I want that to match how it's listed on your Instagram page or on your Facebook business page. As you scroll down a little bit, yes, you want to pick your category. I believe real estate agent is a category, if that's your industry today, watching in. But here it is, your description. So the description of your business, I want you to list your full name. Like here, I am using my maiden name. I'm going to be changing my maiden name for personal reasons. So I can make sure, there it is, that right now that my maiden name is in there. So I can edit it. The change will be pending. Google does have to make sure that I'm following their guidelines, privacy guidelines, and I agree to those guidelines when I create a business profile. So anything you put up here will be pending, sometimes just for a couple of minutes, and then it'll go through. But you do want to put in your mission statement. You want to put in what makes you, this is what Michelle was saying earlier about those keywords. You want to ask someone else, like what makes your value? And you want maybe have somebody else help you with that wording. You can go to AI, Chat GPT, if you want some help on creating that description. So we're talking about business information.
Okay.
And you
And
can put
sorry,
in,
sorry about that.
no, that's okay. You can put in like your phone number, of course. You're going to put in when your business was started. And just as you go down all the way through this, and these are all the different areas of your locale, your service area. That's where I said you can put in all the zip codes.
Wow.
So
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. So
like
this is where all the places you've taught, right?
yeah, so I'm a national speaker. So I put
Wow.
in, my map that comes up on my Google profile does show the United States, because I do, I want any real estate commission or, school, association in a
Yeah.
state to find me. And so I have put in, multiple
You should put 24/7 on your hours because you be going hard.
yeah.
I
20.
don't know about, I don't think people, I mean, I don't know. I don't, I know business owners have office hours, but I also know that if you ask me something on Sunday at 6 o'clock, I'm gonna do it.
I know. I do. It's like, let's just talk a minute. If you are a broker, though, and you want to put in your hours here, you can put in the hours of your brokerage. And then they do have these special hours here. So if you're going to be closed for Thanksgiving and then maybe the day after, you can put that in there. Google will even send you an email and ask you if you haven't done it. Like, are you going to be open for Thanksgiving or July
Mhm.
4th,
Yeah, that's right. They
Christmas
ask
or
you to
Hanukkah?
amend that.
Yeah. And then some of these things, if you're not a real estate professional and you're here as a restaurant owner or you own a shoe store or a deli, you can put in like, what
That's so cool.
specialty, yeah, what specialty
Hmm.
service. You have pickup, you have senior hours, you have takeout, these are all the things that people Google. And these are all the ways to optimize
That's
having
right.
somebody
That's
find you.
right.
So that's really the point here. And then really down at the bottom here, it gets really minute and in niche area that, if you needed to add, I don't think this is going to apply at least to many of the businesses out there, but I saw this on yours too, where we offer online appointments. And
Yes.
if I want you all, so does Michelle, especially all you new agents out there, to understand that if you get yourself online, with your own Zoom account, even if it is a free account, you can appeal to your future audience of buyers and sellers by just appearing like this live. You can live stream like we're doing right now to
Yeah.
your social page.
And
Yeah.
then you know how and one of the things that me and Betsy want to get into too is how agents can use Zoom as a tool to create buyer presentations and listing presentations. So even when it's asking that question, yes, you're available for these online appointments at any time. You
Yeah.
want to find ways to clone yourself and multiply yourself as a person. I don't even know how to really explain that the right way, but what I want the real estate professional to know is that we are doing the same things that we were doing, that agents were doing 30, 40, 50 years ago, right? It's the same touches, it's the same connection, it's the same communication, building rapport, building trust, but we have 20 million different ways to do that right now with technology.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same basics from 30, 40 years ago, but what these programs and these social platforms and Google, what this allows us to do is multiply ourselves and help us market ourselves. And it helps us communicate the message to the potential client in different ways through omnipresence, right? You
Yeah.
want the client to feel like you are literally everywhere, right? So we're touching them on the phone, we're texting them, we're emailing them, and then we're coming in through their mailboxes, through handwritten notes, postcards, newsletters, and then we're coming to them virtually through Zoom, through Facebook, through Google, through YouTube, right? So it's multiple touches, but different ways. It can't just be this, and
Yeah.
it can't just be this. It has to be active, passive prospecting, and sweat and check equity. It's a combination of all of them.
I mean, you just said handing out a postcard. So I know, which I know is very, it's been done for years. A pop by, so to speak. So whatever
Yeah.
that graphic is, now I know virtually you're not going to be giving them whatever that gift is, that giveaway, but that graphic, but whatever that had on it, had your information on it, that can certainly be turned digital, or you can create it in Canva and download it and then put it as a post in your Google business profile.
That's right.
So if you're going to put it on
Right.
social, put it here. So that's really what, if you're going to have a takeaway today, it's that, oh, this exists and this is free. And
Yes.
so whatever you're doing out and about, either on the phone or in person or on social, add this to that list.
Honestly, and detrimental to your business.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so important to your business. Even when Betsy pulled up the agents that do come up on the Google, Some of that a little bit is paid, like she said, but that's who the age, and then especially when someone is just searching on Google and they don't realize that those top ads are sponsored ads and people are paying. And I'm going to be honest with you, because I know that, I'll scroll past all the sponsored ones, and then I always pick the first true one that's not sponsored.
Yeah. But even more than that, I know many people look at that and they're like, oh, in order for me to get to the top, and that's the search where people are looking for a real estate agent near them. But what I want to attract to many of you out there listening is that how many times is your name referred out to someone and they want to Google you? So if someone wants to Google you and find out about Michelle, like, you were referred to me, and like,
Yes.
if I want to check you out, this is really your card, your face on the internet, and it's free. So it's not your website. When you think about your website, people land on your website or
No
your
one's
about
going to your
page.
website.
No one's
No
going to your
one's
website.
going. And I want to reiterate what you said because it's so important. Most real estate professionals, when they build their businesses right, their business turns out to be, a majority of it is referral. The referral does not lock in the client. The referral just gives you a little bit of more trust and a little bit more rapport. The chances of that referred client Googling you are super, super, super high. And you won't know that because that client's not saying it to you, but there'll be things that client says where then that they Googled you. And I'll give you an example.
Yes.
Literally yesterday, a few weeks back, I was referred to a potential seller about a listing, and it was a friend of mine that referred me. I got in contact with the client. They obviously, I don't want to say obviously, thank God they did hire me. But then I went to the client's house yesterday just to get some paperwork, and she was talking to the property owner, and she goes, yeah, after we looked at your profile, or after we looked at you online, his only question was, does she speak German? And I'm like, guten Abend, guten Tag, Heffe Weissen, bitte. So, and then, she tells us, she's like, well, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure she could order a beer in German if she had to. So they do, like, I was referred, the connection was there. I had already talked to the client, talked to them on the phone, but yes, they're still Googling me and looking me up and trying to see what's going on. So please know that even when you have a client, even if you have a referral business, it's important for that supplemental search to be up. And the best way to secure that is with your Google profile.
I love that. I love that example. And one of our 5 steps is those reviews. And so when people Google you and they see those reviews there, they're not only going to see the 5 stars that you most likely have there, they're going to go and read what other people say about you. So which is just going to reinforce the fact that you were referred, and they're going to make them pick up the phone and,
Yes.
call you. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you don't have clients and you don't have reviews, tap into your sphere of influence, tap into your friends, tap into your colleagues that you've worked with in the past, even if it was another job. I had one client that I didn't do business with, but I talked to her a little bit about what Airbnbs look like, how to get into that business. And though, her transaction was in another state, she's like, I'm sorry that we obviously didn't do our transaction together because I bought somewhere else. I said, you know what? That's fine. And I appreciate that. But can you do me a favor? Can you at least leave a review so that someone at least knows that I'm an expert in that area? And she did. And I think that's the last review you saw a year ago. So I do need to put a little more review request on. And then let's see. So we covered photos.
Yep.
We covered updates.
Yep.
We covered reviews, and we covered Q&A.
Yep. And then while you stepped out of your chair, we did business information.
We did business information.
Yeah, and I just want to let me just circle back to my behind the scenes here, just to show, because I was showing it from the front end, like seeing Michelle and what the results are, how they come up. But when you're behind the scenes as the owner of the Google Business Profile,
yes, there we go, right there.
These are the 2 rows. This is your dashboard, and these are the 2 rows of buttons, features features. This is the menu where you go in and your 5 things are there. The first row, the fourth button in, it says add photo. So that's where you're going to go into add the photos. And this gets a little bit into your computer where you need to have those photos already existing in a folder on your computer's drive. These are like, and if this starts to get you like uncomfortable, again, leave a comment here. And, between Michelle and I, we've shown you our genius today in terms of, you're feeling like you don't know how to show your value, in the real estate industry or as an agent, what you should do. You need a little guidance. That's Michelle. And if you need guidance on, I don't even know where those photos are. Like, I don't even know what's on my computer. I'm like, I know it's full and I don't even know where things are. And I want to uncover that. I don't accept that as an excuse. I really don't, because I teach everyone. And if that's your hurdle, then I'll show you a way to figure it out.
Yeah, let's start exactly where you stopped at. It's the part that's stunting the business owner. It's the part that is not allowing them to move forward. And it's really, really stalling their business.
Correct. And so in here, there is in the second row on the right, you see a little tiny arrow. And I just like to uncover some of these little secret areas, because sometimes people come in there like, I don't see where those updates were. Yeah. So when you
there's the update.
Arrow, the little updates are hidden there, as well as ask for reviews.
So that's crazy, because I didn't know that you can just put in photos without putting in an update. All the pictures that I think are in there are from, for example, an update. Is add photo a new feature?
Nope. So when you go into add photo,
it's new to me.
It's new to you. This is where, that top item, that photos is. I mean, it looks like you're doing nothing in here, but pretty much you're just going to go get them. And like I said, you're going to do 2 a week, maybe 3 a week tops. And you're going to go out. You're going to these photos, where do they come from? Have somebody take a picture of you in front of your listing. If you're the broker, in front of your brokerage, inside your brokerage. I have an agent that I private coach, and she's in Walnut Creek, California, and she one of her big listings is a 55 plus community. And so she had somebody take a picture of her by the front sign, and then by the pickleball courts, and then, by the golf, whatever. Like,
that's awesome.
Photos. And then, she put all 4 photos in, and that's
I'm slipping. Like yes. And even yesterday when I was teaching my class on brand presence and consistency, there's 2 of my social profiles where the banner on the back doesn't match the rest of my profiles. So it's funny. So, as I'm teaching my own class, I'm like, okay, well, hold on. I got to fix this here. So it's okay.
Yeah, I know.
It is so okay. This is for some people, this is fun. And for some people, this is just a pain point.
Yeah.
And like I said, like Betsy will help you through all of that. This is the season now where, I know that a lot of the year has been a little slower for some real estate professionals, but this is the year now to catch up on your database, to catch up on your admin stuff, to catch up on your profiles, to cancel subscriptions that you're not using, before you go into the new year. Like, this is the time now to kind of clean up shop and take it back to the basics, back to base camp, and set yourself up for success going into first quarter.
Yeah, beautiful. Love that. And on that note, if you want to take this time to ask a couple of people for reviews over this weekend.
Yes. Yeah.
Go to this last item where it says ask for reviews, because when you come in here and it has this review link, and at the end of it is this 2 little squares, and my eyes are trained to know that. If yours are not, you can just click there and it copies that link. And then if I put that in an email to Michelle, and I'd say, so it's been great dealing with you on this transaction, and so happy that everything worked out, blah, 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 blah. And it would really help me in my business if you gave me a Google review and
I love
paste
that.
this link into the email to them and sends them right to the area that they
Right where they're leaving the review
right
at.
where
That's
they're leaving the
right.
review.
They don't
Yep.
have to look for anything. They don't have to Google you. Like it
Nope.
literally comes up and they can start. I'd actually ask them for the number of stars. You're going to hit the five
Yes,
stars
right.
and
Five-star.
then you're going
Please
to
give me a
start your
five-star review.
comment.
Yes.
And it's right there.
Beautiful. And I'm even thinking as I look at mine, if I'm vulnerable with everybody, I'm probably going to put, my name there because when people, they don't know me necessarily as PC Mac technology, I've gone through a bit of rebranding myself over the
Yeah.
last 4 months, 5 months. And I started this company 28 years ago. So the company's been around
What?
for a long time, but it's like the name that's kind of like behind the scenes, and I use for
Yes.
my
Yes.
LLC, for tax purposes and all that, but it's never really been in the forefront. And so for me to bring it out there and for people to, no
Mm.
one's going to know to Google PC Mac technology and get me, but if they want to Google me, and put in my name, would I come up? So they
Yeah, let's
typically would put
see.
in like they know me as Betsy Coin, like Zoom classes, like something like that. See, that's a good example. So
Good.
like in this
Come
case,
up. Yeah.
I'm very active on social. So and my websites come up and
But your website's coming up. That's a big deal because that means
yeah,
you got good search engine optimization behind them.
yeah, that is. My Google business profile is not there, so I'm going to change that up to make sure that, my name is in that title and then and then play around with this. So this is exactly what you all would do and just showing
Yeah.
that
Yeah, just play with it.
I'm human just like you are. And if you're going through some rebranding, if you aren't a new agent, you've been in this for a while and you're thinking, you know what, the new year 2024, I'm going to mix this up a bit. And I want to start fresh, have some new ideas. I would start here. I would
Yeah.
go on your website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, this is the perfect place to start. Get your postcard, get verified before the new year starts and start coming up and send that link to people too so that they find you and that they know to look you up and that they know that you're legit.
Yeah. So there you go. Those
I
are
love
your
it.
5 steps to optimizing your
On
Google
Google.
business profile. Yep.
I
And
love it.
I think for those of you who have joined us live, I've seen you pop in and out. And for many of you who might be seeing this, I'm going to share this as well onto my page and into my groups so that, watch it back. I mean, by now, if you're listening to this, you've watched it all the way back.
Yes.
And
And it's funny because, me and Betsy we just came on right now just to kind of talk about what we wanted to teach. And it just let's just do it. Like let's just roll it out because again, we don't want to keep the information from you. This information is so valuable and so important. And she's going out of town next week and I didn't want to stall this another 2 weeks.
yeah,
And again, don't be scared. You're not going to break it. Like
no,
whatever you're doing on the computer, you're not going to break it. It can
yeah,
definitely be undone. And just want to encourage you to set your businesses up the same way that you're looking who you want to do business with. Like she started off with saying, if I am looking for something, I'm Googling it. If someone is looking for you, they're going to look for you on Google.
yeah,
Treat yourself as a business and be as critical of yourself as you are to other businesses when you're looking for a specific service. Would you hire you right now based on your Google results?
yeah. Good one. And I'm also going to add maybe and we've talked about this when I'm back from my travels. We've said we're both available, for help, but we've also said we want to invite you in here into the Zoom room with us,
Yeah,
and so
yeah,
with your computer and just get it done, like we say, get it
yeah.
done,
Get it done.
and that way, we can help you during a live class. Put the time aside. I was in Utah last week teaching the real estate commission in the state of Utah. And I told many of them as the class was going on, the luxury that you get from sitting in an all day class with your computer and me. And we just get it done now. There's no
Yeah,
excuse now to say, well, I don't have time. I have to answer these phone calls or whatever.
yeah.
Um, that's the point. So I think we're going to come back to you with that, with a scheduled class that you can attend where
Yeah,
they can
that's
come
right.
in, yeah, where they can come in inside the Zoom room with us.
Yeah, and then if you were watching this and you took notes, like as soon as this is off and you're done, go implement, go take action on those notes that you just wrote down.
Yeah.
Because if not, it's just gonna you're just gonna close the notepad up and it's just gonna sit there.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah, it's
geez,
going
I
to be
don't want
that
to say
thing.
for nothing, right? Hopefully you took something away from this training that, you had an aha moment. It's, oh, with trainers and educators, we really just want y'all to have an aha moment and be like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah.
and you
Let me
get
do that
excited
one
about
thing.
it.
Yeah.
And then you start going down the rabbit hole, and then there's just this awesomeness that happens
Right.
while you're training and teaching yourself.
Yeah, it's true. Of the 5 things I showed, take one and do that
Mhm.
one thing this month.
Yeah,
I,
mine's gonna
and
be the pictures. Mine's
yeah,
gonna be the photos for sure.
yeah,
Um,
and mine's going to be my business information to get my name in the title. So that's
well, look, like we're here
we're
teaching the class,
accountability
and
buddies.
we're like, okay, what are we gonna do
What
as
are
soon
you
as we get
doing?
up?
What I'm doing? Yeah.
So, Betsy, I want you to please tell anyone who's watching what your services entail, what they encompass, obviously how people can reach you, and what would they be coming to you for if they need help with what? Give
Yeah.
us,
Thank you.
for example, like an offer or your or what you want the client to know most about you in
Yeah.
regards to services.
I'm a technology educator and coach, and I specialize in the real estate industry. So, which means I specialize in a lot of industries. I am the perfect person to strategize with you because
Yeah.
I can hear you talk about your business, and then I start thinking about the tech tools that you need to scale up, level up, get over that next hurdle. When it comes to real estate, I do specialize in how to bring your genius to this virtual world. That's really we stepped into 3 years ago, and thrust me out of a cannon. And so, if you want to know how to use Zoom better, and I always say, like, you think you know Zoom, but you really don't. You really don't. It's that link that if you can find it, you click it, and then you show up here on camera, or you're in the room with the person who's hosting.
And that's
But
it.
now I want you to picture yourself in the seat where you're the one leading the event. So you're the industry professional who is inviting everybody in, just like you would invite them into your physical location. You invite them here into your online virtual space.
Yeah.
And I teach you all of the features that allow you to make that event impactful, an impactful experience. So the things that I have going on, if you will tag me in this, and you can just click on my
Absolutely.
Facebook profile and you'll
Yeah, and
see.
then put your offers in the comments.
Yeah, and I have a class coming up on December 7th, which is Zoom in for success. So it's how you get started. You've got to get your Zoom account set up even before your meeting even starts. And I have the checklist for you that
Nice.
allows you to do that, to get set up for success. Like you said earlier, you had that same phrase before your Zoom meeting even starts. And then I have a tech club, so I meet weekly every Monday live, and those the people who come in there, it's more like a tech playground. That's what we call it. And so because I'm a tech expert, I can help you with obviously what I did today. I can help you with Canva. If any of you are using Canva out there, and some of those features, people bring me their issues and they say, "Can you solve this for me?" And
Yeah.
I usually can.
Yes, you
I like to
do.
solve it. I like to solve it. So
You
that
do.
kind of
She's the
gives
one that
you.
helped me figure out how to live
I
stream into
do.
our private
I
Facebook group.
do.
And I was like, there's just one toggle somewhere. There's just
I
one
know.
button.
I
And I
do.
just do not know where it is. And it was that we hadn't added Zoom as an application inside the settings inside of our group. So,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
live setting was on. That's the toggle that was on. But
Yeah.
I didn't know that I needed to add Zoom as an application to the
Yeah.
private space. So
Yeah.
it's those little pieces
It
where
is.
she comes
It's
in
my
and
forte. Your background is real estate, and might be something else. My background is technology. I have been in it for 36 years. It's all I've ever done. And most of the time I have been in training. So I am proud that I not only can do it, but I love it. So
Yeah. And just to
I,
kind of give y'all like a little insight, most of us learned how to use Zoom out of emergency. It's what saved most of our businesses.
right,
It's what allowed us to stay in communication with the rest of the world while we were all on lockdown.
right, correct.
Betsy knew how to use this tool before
Sure.
then,
Yeah,
right? She was using this as a business platform. So now, you know, with the additional upgrades and updates that Zoom has had, you really just can use this as an all inclusive.
yeah,
What is the word you always use?
yeah.
Business
Communication tool. So
communication
we
tool.
came to know it as a video conferencing tool. We needed that. We needed to do video conferencing because we couldn't
Yeah.
go
And
anywhere.
that's how some of you still use it.
That's how some of you still use it. You might, like I said, if you can find the link, you'll click the link that you've been invited to that event and you just appear on camera. Maybe you're not even on camera, or maybe you're muted and that's the Zoom to you. But I flip it around to show you how you can use it as a business communication tool, which means you can pre-record yourself. There is an area where you can have a chat, and I'm in conversations with many other industries about the fact that it rivals something called Slack or WhatsApp. Those are other companies' apps that let you communicate. Look, if I didn't know your cell phone number, I can't text you, um,
Yeah.
but I can chat with you in Zoom
In
when
the Zoom
when
application.
we're not
And
on.
you don't even have to be in the Zoom to chat with the person that you want to chat with that you
Right.
probably had on a Zoom at some point.
That's everybody I
Yeah,
met
that's a
in
whole nother
Utah.
one.
Everybody I met in Utah, they are now in my Zoom app, and I can chat with any of them, and I don't have their cell phone numbers, so we
Yeah.
can do a Zoom chat. I can send them a video message. I can send them an audio message. It's like all of these features are out there, and you just you don't know what you don't know. So
Yeah,
that's why I always say,
exactly. That's the perfect way to put it.
come to me.
And for those that are watching on Betsy's recording, I'll just briefly introduce myself.
Yes.
My name is Michelle Ihegborow. I am the training director here in Realty One Group Integrity out of Southern Arizona. I've been mentoring newly licensed and seasoned agents for about 3 years now, and working myself into this coaching space. I am also a certified 10X coach. You'll see that little certification right there. And that means that I am licensed to train and teach any of Grant Cardone's material. He does have the #1 learning, marketing, and sales training platform in the world. And I've been in the real estate industry for about 6 years now. As much as I love to help clients buy, sell, and invest on property, I love, love, love training and teaching the real estate professional. So that's how our collaboration kind of just came together, because it's about how do I bring these new resources, tools, and tech to the real estate professional, one that might not want to come into the office to train, right? Attendance does get a little low in the training rooms around this time of year. So I wanted to find a way to bring the training to the agent. So when we're talking about timing and the people in your life and the timing is right, like Betsy walked into my life at the perfect time, and I am just completely obsessed with you. I am so grateful to you, and I appreciate you so much and the time that you give
Yeah.
me to help me scale my business.
Yeah, you're welcome. And you're very welcome, by the way. I ditto to that last part of your phrase. But you also have your webinar is coming up on November something. You have
Yes,
yeah,
4. Yeah, so
yeah,
for those
your
of you
event.
that have a hard time picking up the phone, as I do, I am teaching a how to make millions on a phone webinar on Saturday at 10 a.m. I will put the link in the post on the Facebook post. You can find the event on Eventbrite or on Facebook. And it's really how to get through that challenge of picking up the phone. It's a 3-hour webinar, jam-packed with awesome information. It's the first time that I take my Realty One Group training and my 10X training, and I funnel it through me as the product, and it's just 3 hours of just jam-packed goodness for only $11. Like,
It's like a
it's just a
no-brainer.
no-brainer.
Yeah, it is. It's like a no-brainer. Yeah. I watched it. So that's why I
Yes,
would
that was
encourage
our first
you.
time. You're like,
That was the
okay,
first
I
time.
got it,
That
worked.
was the first time I know. And I did. Because she, again, she's an example of someone who wanted to get her genius out there
Yeah.
and use different features of Zoom and had questions and is an
And
action
still do.
action taker and I love that. So it's a perfect example of what we're talking about. So yeah, so sign up for that. And then we're going to come
Yes.
back to you in December before the year's out so
Yeah.
that we're going to follow up with you here. So
Yeah,
invite you.
let us know if you have questions or future trainings you want to see. Go ahead and put it in the comments, and me and Betsy will schedule that. I'm gonna make sure that my Facebook is set up for y'all to share this out if you want to. And we're here always just to be of service.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yes, I know. I gotta go. I gotta go
I
find my
know. It's so
now.
funny. One of these days we'll be twins again. We were
Yeah,
we
we
were
will. The
we were
first
at
day
one
we
point.
did, we had
Anyway,
them. All
thanks
right, I'm just gonna
everybody.
commit to every time I come on Zoom with you to have on
Have
either
it
a black
on.
gold shirt or my black humble hustle shirt.
Okay. Sounds good.
Queen, I love you to
All right.
pieces.
Love you too.
Thank you so much. Call
You're
me later.
welcome. All
Chat
right.
later.
I will. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Bye, everybody.